Welcome to Stop Wasting Your Wine, a wine review podcast where we waste our wine so you don't have to. In this episode, we review
a sparkling wine from California.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We are so excited to have you. It is an exciting day. I am once again joined by the two most beautiful men in my life, Colin and Joel. How you guys doing?
I'm doing awesome.
Well, now, really good. Yeah. Thanks, buddy. How are you?
Great. I'm going to find a more absurd way to compliment each of you every time we do one of these. By like episode 30, it's going to get real weird.
No, I'd love just the way I like it. Yeah, this is a really exciting episode because not only are we drinking sparkling wine, which I absolutely love, but we're actually doing a little bit of celebrating. I don't want to ruin the surprise, but Joel, you want to let the folks in, the listeners at home, on why we're celebrating?
Yeah, it's crazy. Thanks for celebrating with me, guys. We did, I have a little mini-me in my life, or to be more accurate, a little mini version of my wife, thank God. But we had a baby girl. We're coming up to about 2 weeks now. So appreciate you guys doing a little celebratory sparkling wine episode with me. It's great. And by the way, I am here. Shout out to Cheerios and coffee for keeping me going these last couple of days and allowing me to be here with you guys.
Yeah, I just want to point out that like Joel was the one that reached back out and was like, "Hey guys, you want to record another episode?" Like Colin and I were waiting, giving you know the Ladniski clan time to recuperate and recover. And Joel was like, "Yo, I need to drink."
Yeah.
Now.
Well, I found myself caught in just a revolving world of diapers, crying, trying to sleep and get a baby to sleep, and feeding and all of that. So I needed something to break the monotony. And thank you guys for helping me out here. Yeah, I was like, let's get back into this. It's time.
Of course, of course. And so, we were on a bit of a tear learning about some of the wine basics, but we wanted to take a step away from our normal wine list to step into a sparkling wine in celebration of Joel's happy news. So, Joel, can you tell us about today's sparkling wine selection?
Yes. Okay. So our sparkling wine today is from Chandon. So it is a blend of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Meunier grapes. And this is from California. So we're looking at about 12% ABV. And we picked this up from, at least myself, I know we have a little bit of a difference here. I picked up mine for about $25 from my local grocer.
And I was at our favorite Total Wine, and I got mine for about $20. So slight difference if you go to one of the larger distributors versus your grocery store, but widely available.
Oh yeah, you can pick this wine up pretty much anywhere. I mean, there's not too many places you can walk into and not find a bottle of Chandon.
The grocery store is just a little bit farther than the Total Wine for me. And when I was taking a drive to go and pick up this wine, I opted to enjoy another song or two in the car.
You missed your turn.
And said the $5 premium was worth it for an extra 10 minutes of silence.
I want to point out that pre-infant Joel was paying a delivery guy to bring the wine to his home. Post-infant Joel
that is very
going
true.
Out of his way to drive outside of his neighborhood. So you guys what? Weird.
I told my wife they stopped doing deliveries. They don't do that anymore. Why did they do that? So much changed in 1 week.
So inconvenient.
Welcome to fatherhood, my friend. Welcome to fatherhood.
Thank you. Not our official fun fact, but something I remembered after we picked this up is I've actually been to the Chandon properties in California. We were out there to visit a friend, and we wanted to visit a vineyard, and this is where I ended up going. It's absolutely beautiful location. You walk through, it's all very like modern and glass, and these lovely structures, a big property. You can walk around and sit out on the property and enjoy a glass of sparkling wine.
That sounds lovely.
Oh yeah, the champagne houses are beautiful. They really make an effort to. Oh shit! I said champagne.
Champagne. Leave it in.
Do you know what's funny about that too? Is of the three of us, I am probably the one who cares about that the most. I go out of my way to make sure I don't say champagne when we're talking about other sparkling wines. So the fact I just let that slip. That is, man.
Can I tell you something?
Bad start. Yeah.
Pressure off for me and Aaron at this point, because I thought it was going to be us for sure, and you're going to come down on us, but no.
I am so
Me too.
happy right now. Like, I am just like...
I went with champagne right off the bat. Fuck me.
Well done. Thank you, sir. You know what? Let's just use that as a lead-in. This is not our, like, official fun fact of the day, but, like, Colin, lay it out there. What the hell is the difference? I know we know the jokes. Like, the official region, or just champagne, Prosecco, sparkling wine. What the hell?
Lay it out for us.
Yeah, so, I mean, champagne is from the Champagne region of France, but all of the ones you just mentioned are sparkling wine.
Boom.
So, and it all comes down to region, how the wine's made, the grapes that go into it. So there's the topic of champagne has a rabbit hole as deep as you want to go. So we're going to try to keep it high level and understandable, not too boring.
Yeah, and Colin, just like correct me if I'm wrong. So there are many different ways they use different grapes, but like different areas just have different names for their sparkling wine. Like I know Joel, what were you telling me about earlier? From Spain?
Yeah, well, I think obviously there's a couple of things that are required to make, to allow somebody to call their wine champagne, right? But then also we've got sparkling wines from Italy. You got your Prosecco, you got sparkling wine from Spain, your Cavas.
Yeah, I Googled it. A sparkling wine from Germany is called Sekt.
Ah, what a beautiful language.
Beautiful. It's just delightful. Rolls off the tongue. Rolls right off the back of your tongue and into your teeth.
And it all starts off as still wine, and then through different parts of the winemaking process, bubbles are added to it, which is actually what we wanted to talk about today. I know I don't usually introduce the segment, but I think this is a
who
good
cares?
time.
We're celebrating. We're drinking sparkling wine.
This is the only thing you will learn.
Yes.
I notice on this bottle, Colin, and I wonder if this is where you're going. But I see that there is a note on here. It says traditional method. Does that play into how it's made and what you're going to teach us here?
It actually says méthode traditionnelle.
Ah, yes. Thank you. Thank you for giving us the correct pronunciation.
Yeah, you'll sometimes also see méthode champenoise, which is the champagne method. Same thing. But yes, that is one of the two major methods to how sparkling wine is made. So, like I mentioned, what I want to talk about is how they get the bubbles in there. And all sparkling wine starts off as still wine, just like any other white wine. There's also sparkling red wine, but any other wine. And then at different stages of the winemaking process, depending upon how it's made, bubbles are added. So there are really 3 ways you can do it, but 2 major ways. We're not going to talk about the third way because you don't see it a lot. But you have the tank method, which basically you add a still wine to a big steel tank, and then you add carbonation to it, sort of like any other sparkling beverage, like LaCroix or something like that, is going to be same idea. And then the traditional method, which is this bottle, also champagne, Joel mentioned cava. These are all sparkling wines made in the traditional method. The bubbles are created actually in the bottle themselves. So you have a still wine, and then there's a secondary, really it's a fermentation, where yeast is added to the bottle with a little bit of extra wine. And then through fermentation, one of the byproducts is carbonation or CO2. And that's how the traditional method wines get their bubbles. And a kind of fun way to tell the difference, if you don't know what method you're looking at based on the wine, or, if you haven't seen the bottle or something like that, you can look at the size of the bubbles. Usually traditional method bubbles are going to come up a lot faster and they're going to be a lot smaller. And tank method bubbles, they're going to be much bigger and they're going to be slower. So you kind of think about, if you look at a soda, the bubbles going up a soda, it's going to be the same thing in a tank method as opposed to the small and fast traditional method.
I just want
bubbles.
Everyone at home who can't see us to know that Joel and I just took our glasses and held them up to our eyes like idiots and just like staring deep. And yeah, I mean, I don't have like a comparison right now, but very small, very fast.
Some tiny bubbles.
Tiny
Some fast bubbles. All right, so tank method versus traditional method. Awesome. Colin, thank you so much. That is incredible. I learned something today.
Mm-hmm.
So fantastic. And, like we talked about this a bit. We want to do a more in-depth episode, really going down the rabbit hole about sparkling wine and champagne and everything in the future. But today we just want to hit the basics because, as we said, today was kind of a let's celebrate what's going on. And that kind of got us thinking a little bit, Joel, super fast. You ever thought about that? Like, why the hell are we even, why this? Why sparkling wine? Why
Yeah, like why is
did
it
we
such
pull
a...
this out because you had a baby?
Why do you
Like, why can't we
celebrate
just
with
be like
sparkling
taking
wine?
shots of tequila right now? What's going on?
It's very true. And let me also say, thank God taking shots of tequila is not aligned with celebrating things because, my Lord. Yeah, no, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. We were talking about this before. Everything that I am finding here is just, it meant a lot, right? Like champagne, especially when the only method of creating it was the traditional method. It was kind of tough to come by and it was expensive. And, if you were just, a family of normal means and you had champagne at an event, it meant that something was pretty darn special. And, so I guess that's kind of a tradition that's kind of carried on through the years. And we continue to mark special events with champagne and sparkling wine. And fortunately, we have more options and more varieties for us to enjoy and mark these great moments in our lives with.
And call me crazy, but I think nowadays, because we do have so many options and so many good options for reasonable prices, I think sparkling wine can be an everyday wine. Like you don't need a reason to celebrate to drink sparkling wine. I just love sparkling wine, so I'll crack open a bottle just on a Tuesday because that's the mood I'm feeling in. So
Celebrate Tuesday.
Celebrate Tuesday, but you don't even have to celebrate. Just you could be sad and drink sparkling wine.
I guess that's true.
Colin, you mentioned you mentioned that like right before we started recording, and I have never thought of it in that way. Of just like, it's so funny how deeply ingrained it is that champagne sparkling wine
Absolutely.
is like celebratory. Like, it would be weird just to like be watching a football game on a Sunday and be like, hey, anyone just want this sparkling wine to have? I guess unless you pour orange juice into it, because that is not very acceptable as well. Do love me a mimosa. But with that being said, we've talked a lot about the how, we've talked about the why. Let's just talk about the wine.
Tastes like wine.
All right, gentlemen, you have your champagne flutes in front of you. Is everyone using their proper sparkling wine? We have an assortment of glasses today.
Yeah, well, you said flute. I'm rocking a Coupe right now. I am rocking a Coupe, a champagne Coupe.
Spell it.
Coupe. I actually do not know. That's I'm guessing. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a proper, not to get too detailed or whatever. But yeah, flutes are great. But yeah, this is a champagne flute. If you ever think of like Great Gatsby, right? For a listener at home, if you're wondering what I'm talking about, think of the iconic, Great Gatsby, and even think of the Leo GIF, GIF, where he's kind of holding a flute or oh my God, he's holding a coupe right there. So yeah, very classic. Anyway.
And the pretense alert, and we should maybe have a drop for this, but I'm using a regular white wine glass because the glasses that you're holding are not ideal for assessing a wine, which is, what we're doing on the show. So I'm using a white wine glass because yeah, I know. It's not very...
I'm just so proud of myself for getting the right glass, but for drinking sparkling wine, this is what you would hand out for the fanciness. But because we are here to assess it, I should have gotten something. I should have used a normal wine glass.
Right. Yeah. If you're at a party and you want it to feel fancy, there's absolutely nothing wrong with
feel fancy.
Okay. Okay. Nothing wrong with a champagne flute or a coupe, I guess. But for assessing wine, you definitely want just a plain old white wine glass.
Fair enough.
Not as fun, but okay.
All right. Well, stick your noses in your flute coupes or glasses. What are you all picking up for a smell here?
So I'm getting quite a bit of lemon. Also a little bit of green apple in there, which is really nice.
Yep.
I'm picking up maybe a little bit of melon also. Like a little honeydew.
Wow.
And then I'm also getting that bready note, which you find on traditional method sparkling wines.
Yeah, I'm with you. The green apple jumped right out at me, and then the toastiness. I got that bready, toasty butteriness. I'm excited to try this because I dig that in a sparkling wine too. You said, what'd you say, honeydew?
Honeydew. Yeah,
Hey, honeydew.
melon.
My gosh, I don't think I could have picked that up. But interesting. I'm excited to taste it and see if I find
Should I
that.
be less specific with my melon?
No, I'm just
No,
impressed.
you be as
Colin.
specific as
okay.
you want. You do
Okay.
whatever
Yeah.
you want with your melon, Colin.
All right. Okay. Right. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but let's move on. Aaron, anything
I'm just trying to
add?
support you. No, I have nothing. I have nothing to add, to be clear. I smell sparkling wine.
Well, you're not wrong.
Guys, I promise you, I will start eating more foods. But I got
Just eat fruit.
Great.
Just eat fruit.
what a fruit. Just as I don't smell any bananas.
That's probably good.
You have to come across a banana wine that I like. No, the problem is the ones that I actually, to be 100% honest and not totally, rag on myself, the ones I normally get right away are kind of like the lemony, melony smells, but Colin nails those right away, and that's why I have nothing to add to the situation.
Yeah, we shouldn't let Colin go first
I
on
agree.
these.
Yeah, maybe next
Yeah,
time. I'll go
because
last.
we could say lemon and stuff like that, and then Colin could be like, "Oh, but do you smell the honeydew?"
Yeah, come in with that honeydew
I
kicker.
totally missed the honeydew. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So
so
true.
we have all of the melons and citrus covered. Let's take a sip and see what we taste. At which Colin will tell us last.
Oh yeah, really, really nice. Definitely getting a lot of that citrus. Definitely a ton of green apple, but also a little bit toastier. I feel like, I don't know if this is a thing, but I feel like it's somewhere on the crispy, like crisp tasting sparkling wine to toasty sparkling wine. I don't know why. I don't know if that's like an actual spectrum when it comes to sparkling wine, but I feel like
Colin's
there's always
shaking his
Colin's
head
shaking his head adamantly.
ferociously no.
I'm
not
so
officially,
wrong.
but
But I feel if there were like, I
Multiverse of
definitely-
Madness style, their spectrums crossing each other and have no relation at
but
all.
that's okay. Like if we can make that. You want to make that?
No, I don't want to make
I
that.
can just
but I
start
will
drawing
say,
spectrums.
I will say that this is, to me, it's toasty. And I like that a lot.
I mean, I'll say, like, I have learned over our episodes we've done together, I am a dry wine person. I really like a dry wine. This is a dry. For listeners at home that don't know this fun fact that I'm going to pretend I knew, but learned from Colin like 30 minutes ago, is that a brut is a dry wine, is a dry sparkling wine or dry champagne, correct? So if you see brut on there, you're actually, I didn't know this, like brut actually is talking about the dryness of the wine. And so this is a brut, and it is a very dry sparkling wine, which I really enjoy.
Yeah, and Brut's universally used on all sparkling wine, pretty much all around the world. So, Cava from Spain will have Brut on it. We have here sparkling wine from California, Brut. Champagne will have Brut. So it's pretty much
Is
a
there
universal language for
non-dry
brands.
sparkling wine?
Oh, yeah, for sure. It goes all the way up to sweet sparkling wine. But usually, I mean, if you think about a lot of the cheaper California sparkling wine, a lot of that is very sugary, and it's a style. Not my favorite, but people love it. So, but yeah, I get a lot of that bready note, which I also absolutely love. It really, Jill, on the spectrum, this is a toasty boy. But you also get
A TB.
Toasty boy.
We got a TB here.
a TB here. This is a toasty boy. But you
This
also
might
get
even
that
be a
lemon.
CPP. What?
Not a CPP, but definitely a
No, a
TB.
little,
Not
too,
CPP?
little
I would-
too toasty for a CPP.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway,
I would drink this anywhere.
yeah, we haven't gotten to the review yet, Aaron. So let's pump the brakes.
Drink this on a porch. Drink this in the yard.
It's not certified though. We haven't certified
doing
it. It doesn't
Dr.
matter where you
Seuss now?
actually drink it.
Drink this in the lawn. Drink this over yon.
Oh my goodness. I'm also getting quite a bit of that lemon. Definitely that green apple is like super intense, as Joel mentioned. I do get a little bit of the melon. It's maybe not as melony as I thought it was on the nose, but it's in there. I pick it up a little bit. I might be crazy, but I get a little bit of that. And then I also get just a tiny bit of pear too, which I didn't really smell, but you can definitely pick it up on the palate better than you can on the nose. So, and that's pretty much all I got.
Now, for our first few episodes, we really just kind of broke it down into smell and taste. But now that we are all advancing in our knowledge and we want our listeners to advance as well, let's kind of add that third structure aspect, thinking about things we've learned about acid, tannin, etc. Let's just kind of, Colin, start off as our resident expert. Like, what would you name for this sparkling wine? What were some of the noticeable features that stand out to you?
So it's low alcohol. You really don't notice that. It blends in well. It's like right on the verge of high acid. It's pretty acidic, but it's not like ultra high. You can call it medium plus if you want to, but I would stick it really probably in the high category. And then there won't be any tannin in this. No sugar. Light body, which you usually find with lighter alcohol wines. So overall, really well balanced though. Like nothing sticks out too much. Like it's a real pleasure to drink on the palate. It feels nice with the bubbles, and it's really structurally a well put together wine.
I agree with everything you said, Colin, except one thing I'm gonna just challenge a little bit, or at least call out that I'm perceiving it a little bit differently. Is you said light body. I don't think it's a very light wine. I mean that in a good way right here, because to me it's got a kind of a lot going on, and it doesn't dissipate, right? It's that toastiness kind of stays with me and kind of carries it along. So I agree with everything else you said. Spot on with, the acidity kind of being like right there in the middle plus sort of a thing. Almost want to say high, which I really, really enjoy. But to me, yeah, this is a slightly above medium body kind of a sparkling wine to me.
So I don't disagree, but I think what you're also talking, like body is weight in your mouth. So it's not necessarily the intensity of the flavor, which is long lasting. So that's what you're referring to, is really the intensity of the flavor more so than the body. But the breadiness, which is like the breadiness comes from the wine aging on its dead yeast cells, which absolutely adds some body to the wine. So, I mean, you've convinced me that this is not necessarily a light body wine, but a little bit more. But I think what you're referring to as far as flavor is concerned is this is a rather intense wine, because the flavors last on the palate for quite some time.
Definitely. Okay.
You accidentally changed Colin's opinion using the absolute wrong argument.
Taking that as a win. You're just being nice.
A win's a win, man.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right, though. I mean, we got there the wrong way, but I totally agree. It's definitely a little weightier than I think I originally felt because of the breadiness. So, good call.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah.
And I mean, Colin originally thought this was a champagne. So,
that's very true.
Oh, man. Oh, wow. We're going to talk about that later.
I'm going to make it impossible for you to cut out. Just going to keep referring to it. All right. So, gentlemen, we have traveled a great distance over the course of this episode to get here to the end.
We make it?
So,
what a
we're
journey.
going to make our recommendation.
Yeah, but did they like it? It's time for the review.
Not going to go through the whole system because by now, hopefully, our listeners know the breakdown. But, is this our first wine fridge? Very special wine. It's a kitchen table wine. Is this a backup closet if I must wine? Or is this going down the drain? Colin, why don't you start us off?
I'm putting this one on the kitchen table pretty solidly. It's really good. And it's one of my go-to sparklings for under $30 because you always know what you're going to get. And it's just tasty. It's just really tasty sparkling wine. And this is one you could break out whenever you want. You don't have to be celebrating. Just enjoy it.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. It's a special wine to me now because you guys have used it to celebrate with me for this big moment in my life. So thank you guys. It's not going to my wine fridge, but it is definitely going on my kitchen table. very enjoyable. Really would love to, like you said, Colin, I mean, you've changed my perspective on this. Doesn't have to just be something that we save, right? We wait for the next big thing that happens. This is a great wine. I want to open this just to enjoy.
Absolutely.
So yeah, no, this is staying prominently on the kitchen table so that I can share it with my friends and enjoy it on a whim.
Yeah, same here, guys. And I think too, I just want to add, I feel like picking up a bottle of champagne or a bottle of sparkling wine is a stressful experience for people. Like if they're going to a baby shower or a celebration or a housewarming and they grab a bottle of wine, like it is this moment of like, oh, shit, I want to grab a cheap bottle of wine. I don't want to grab a bad sparkling wine. So people end up grabbing like a $50, $60, $70 bottle of sparkling wine for fear of getting something that isn't going to be good. And I think this is a really great example of a good producer and a good bottle of sparkling wine that you can feel comfortable grabbing and bringing with you over to a friend's place and being able to confidently say, like, this is a really quality bottle of sparkling wine that everyone here is going to enjoy. So solidly kitchen table wine, and something that you should feel comfortable taking from your kitchen table and bringing to someone else's kitchen table.
You know, and Aaron, you said something earlier too. I just want to point out about this bottle here. You know, you said something about mimosas earlier, and I think that there are sparkling wines out there that are really good for mimosas, right? Because maybe you wouldn't want to sit and enjoy a glass of it. So you're kind of better off pouring a little bit of orange juice or some pineapple juice in there to enjoy. This is not one of those. This is at a very accessible price point. Exactly, but this stands, you know, very well on its own. And to put something in this, I think, would be a big mistake. So, like you said, I mean, very, very, you know, you can feel good walking, you know, buying this and bringing it over to your friend's house to enjoy in the evening and to celebrate with, or just to enjoy. So, you know, just all that to say that, you know, this isn't something that, you know, needs to be masked or anything like that. This is great.
And that's why I said it's my go-to. It's always going to be relatively well priced. It's in every store you're ever going to walk into to buy booze.
Yep.
And it's a crowd pleaser. It's just good wine.
So this might go without saying at this point. So I think we can just all say it together. Gentlemen, is this a waste of our wine?
No.
This is a great wine. It is a good price point. It is an excellent pickup. Definitely put it in your repertoire of you know, sparkling wines that you grab whenever you need one. With that being said, thank you all so much for joining us. As always, I'm going to kick it to one of you. Let's see how well everyone's been preparing for this part of the show. Colin, what do we need from our audience at this point?
Thank you for not going to me, by the way.
Yeah, because you fuck it up every time. I'm getting that explicit rating at the very last second.
Oh, we have nailed the explicit rating in this episode. There's no doubt. So we reviewed this bottle of California Chandon sparkling wine, and what we'd love for our listeners to do, if you have a second, is go leave us a nice review on whatever platform you're listening to. Check us out on Instagram, and if you want to stop by our website, learn a little bit more about me, Joel, and Aaron, you can check us out at stopwastingyourwine.com. Oh, and we're also Stop Wasting Your Wine on Instagram.
I thought you were going to say stopwastingyourwine.org and also like .edu and .gov.
I have not bought all of the domains. No.
.uk. All right, folks. Thank you so much for joining us. Stopwastingyourwine.com. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye.
Drink more sparkling wine.
I'm going to go take a nap.